Season 4 of Chef's Deliciousness and Cocktails starts right now. Woo! And hey, everybody, here we are again for an edition of Trey's Chapter Live on Friday. In the house, I have Jefferson with Braga? Braga Farms, that's right, okay. You told me when I interviewed you out there at the Dallas market, but I wanted to make sure I'm horrible at pronouncing names, so.
Yeah, it's tomato. You know? some people say Braga. It's Braga's good. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we got some things I want to talk to y'all about here for a minute. We've got something big. Gordon Ramsay has moved his headquarters to Las Colinas, Irving area from California. That's another company. So we've got Tesla, got Gordon Ramsay, 3 other big companies that have all moved here in this last year after all the problems in California.
That's awesome.
Max Exodus, baby. Exodus.
Max Indidus.
That's right.
They're coming in here. They're coming to Texas. So that's awesome.
That's right.
That's been an exciting journey the last 10 years on that.
It has been. Okay. And then through December, we have a great pop-up at Trinity Groves in Dallas. They've got an awesome pop-up with all kinds of cocktails and Santa stuff and holiday stuff. And if you're in the area, stop in at Trinity Groves and go through that pop-up. I love there anyway. They've got great restaurants, all farm-to-table restaurants, all fresh, chef-driven. You really like it. That's Trinity Groves, and it's just off the freeway. It's really between Dallas and Fort Worth. It's just west of Dallas, about downtown Dallas, about 5-6 miles on off 30. Hawkers opened up. We went over. They invited us over to eat. I'll be posting Hawkers this weekend. It was a fantastic deal, fantastic visit. They were the whole group was unbelievable. Service, the dishes were flavorful, savory, flavorful. We just really enjoyed the whole visit. That'll be posted on our website and our social media this weekend. So check it out. Now, last and not least, if you're tired of turkey or holiday stuff, go to our website and check out our blogs for the best barbecue, the best hamburgers, the best fried chicken. And next Friday, and that is December 17th, we're back on ABC at the new home of the Cowboys, the Frisco, the Star. We're doing a big 2.5-hour event with 7 different restaurants there, all with award-winning dishes for the new All-Star Fridays at the Star. It'll be 2 hours, ABC, Channel 8. Check us out next Friday. We won't be here. We will be there. All right, now I'm going to get with Mr. Braga Farms here, the man, the myth. Of course, it's your mom, too.
My mom did come in.
Yeah.
But it's just... She's a little stage shy.
Yeah, it's okay.
So,
what is your mom's name?
My mom's name's Jill.
Jill, okay.
Yeah.
And what were y'all speaking a while ago?
Portuguese.
Yeah,
we're Brazilian.
Ah.
Originally Brazilian. That's our motherland. Order in progress.
Order in progress.
Over there.
Yeah.
on that big green flag. That's one of my favorite flags in the world.
Yeah.
Along with the American flag.
Well, it should be, I guess. That's where you're from, right?
Right.
So when I saw you at the Dallas Farmers Market at the brunch event,
Yes.
I was so intrigued by everything. First of all, I saw how much produce you had there, and then you told me how you did it and what you did it on. Yeah. I was just intrigued by the whole process. And I've got your interview, and they're actually working. We've been really busy. They're actually working on those interviews now. I can't wait to get that interview out. But you're better than that. You're here live now. So
yeah, I'm excited to be here. I've been following you, seeing you travel through the South Central, and just visiting some of the greatest spots. I've been wanting to post more on the meats that I'm eating, and you're inspiring me to eat even, because I've been going back to Rodizio, steakhouse, Brazilian steakhouses and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, I have a lot of vegans and a lot of vegetable folks on my.
But the good thing about food, everybody should just get along together. It's okay.
That's true.
You could have a steak lover at one table, vegan at one.
I believe in that. I believe everybody should be eating equally. And
That's right.
That's
right. Food brings us together.
That's right.
No politics, no nothing. Just great food and great drink.
That's right.
You don't drink water and juice.
Yes, sir. That's why.
Or maybe.
I was bringing some bread. And I'm like, man, we're gonna break bread. This is great. Some pesto, some other goodies.
So I have a question: is when did you move to Dallas?
I moved to Dallas in 2012. So I was raised up in New Jersey.
Right.
I was raised in Monmouth County, Seabright Beach, New Jersey, the northern beaches. It was really nice. And I stayed there till high school years, and then I went up to Connecticut.
Can you pull your microphone a little bit closer?
Yeah, of course.
Pull a little bit closer. Yeah.
A little closer.
Yeah, there we go.
And then I moved up to Connecticut to do high school. Mom, family, everybody just had a nice neighborhood over there we wanted to try out.
Right.
And then my college years, I finished off in North Jersey.
Okay.
Giant stadium area, like just at Rutherford, Patterson, Passaic County, Jersey City. That was my neighborhood.
Right.
I did school in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay. And your degree is in?
Business and Information Systems.
Right. Business and Information Systems.
Yeah. So I'm an IT guy.
Yeah.
Mostly focused on operations, project management, and solutions and and building those out.
So what brought you to Texas? Was it Texas, or was it a job, or what was it?
Yeah. So when in 2012 I got married, and I was looking to I was looking to join the Cisco partner that I was already working at, and they were offering me nothing. So I was basically already making that when I was working through school,
right?
And I was like, all right, well, what else is there, right?
Yeah.
So because I was interning a little bit, trying to get the Cisco experience,
right?
And I did. I achieved 3 certificates. I got my PMP, things like that. And I just started looking around. I went back to school, and Microsoft was drafting and just going through the different schools for a mock program, a Microsoft academic program, basically, where they just pull you in on with a mentorship kind of the tier. And I was fortunate enough to be flied out to Seattle, and out of like 140 folks, it was like 50 of us were selected. So awesome. that was really exciting. And then. And that was right at the same time that I got married to a lovely Moroccan princess. So I was like, so it was ideal. And then they gave me a few choices actually, and then at one point they were actually trying to push people to go to Oklahoma,
right,
and some other Oklahoma City,
right,
and some and I think Tampa. They were trying to get me to, but I had friends over here in Dallas. I was like, if I go anywhere, I'd rather be where there's a friend or two.
Sure.
And so then I came here. And just right here in Irving,
right.
lived 5 minutes away from work, and just consulted for. And I was part of the Premier Service Center within Microsoft, helping 800 TAMs create efficiencies through a service center.
Are you still there?
I stayed there till 2017 in that position, and then we kind of worked our way out of a job. And there was and Microsoft and big companies do this where, if you're there for 3 years and you don't cycle through to another position or a more senior position or go solve another problem, there'll be a cycle where, hey, this group right here, we just need to find other positions for them. So they'll offer a severance, and they'll offer also other positions that you can go join, because you've created enough here, and there's now one director that manages it all, basically, and it's easier with contractors.
Sure.
To a degree, depends on the program.
Yeah, sure.
And so, at that time, I was already on some calls because I was building out a second tier of the service center, and or helping out with the second tier, and then I had that call. I thought I was getting promoted, and I got a call that there was this was actually a severance deal, and I was like, all right. And I was going to continue, but I just started farming like immediately.
I was just fixing to say, here we go. This is what I
just started farming immediately.
Yeah.
And that was 2017. My wife wanted to go visit her mom. No, sorry, her sister in Quebec. So I brought them there. They stayed there 3 months. And at that time, my mom and I basically just turned the whole land over while in those 3 months.
Okay, so your wife is from where?
Casablanca.
Yeah. So you left Microsoft and you started farming right away.
Yeah.
Okay, now, so you didn't buy that house to farm. You took what you had and started farming.
Yes, but I did buy the house to have a garden and chickens and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you positioned it right. So
that's right.
Is all the soil in the North Texas area, Dallas-Fort Worth, is it all able for a home farm?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. It might be that you might be next to something that's contaminated, like a mechanic shop that dumps his oil on the side of the property. You want to have that checked. But ultimately, if you're just in a regular neighborhood, you can build up your soil from nothing. You're just building it up.
Sure.
Right. Like whatever topsoil is there is probably clay.
Right.
That's the most that I've seen is clay and real sandy. So those aren't ideal for everything. But if you're trying to grow tomatoes, if you're trying to grow okra, they'll grow fine as long as you amend them properly and give them the nutrients.
Okay.
And, sorry, that's my alarm.
That's okay.
Not somebody calling. I did put something. I apologize.
It's okay.
I apologize.
So your wife left, and that's when you turned the whole house into the farm.
That's right. That's right.
It's all, and I saw the pictures, which we're going to show later in a little bit. It's all the way around.
That's absolutely true. And let me add a little bit. when we moved there, when we moved in 2016, we bought 100 chickens. We made a big 50 by 50 garden, and we started planting trees as much as we could. So I was ultimately going to do an orchard and have some kind of and grow for myself. That's always been the way we've lived, my mother and I, in the houses that we've gone through. We've always had a garden. We've always just try to plant more trees and
sustainable living type
and make it more beautiful as well. Because a lot of times, up in Connecticut, we did it. I think in the summer, I must have dug 300 pine trees in the ground. You know what I mean? Like, and across this like little the hill that we had, so it would look nice and keep it all from eroding and all that. Right? Like trees stabilize the land and build it, right? Like you see the beauty from a tree on your property and the food on, and
plus it's good for the environment.
Absolutely. Yeah. But that's neither there. It's like it's good for you. Yeah. It's good for what you're wanting from your property, right? Like that's the mindset that I kind of have is this is our land. How do we actually take the most advantage from it? Many people are just putting lawns on their property because they don't want to have maintenance. Right. And they think that it's 2 hours a week of maintaining your lawn is not that much. But it's like, hey, that's a nice lawn right there, and that takes a lot of water. Yeah. You could maintain it with 5 hours a week and have food. Yeah. or 10 hours a week maintaining it. Sure. Maybe some bigger projects, things for families to do. Right. Like that's what I've done, is make it a family affair for our home to be raised, right? To have more production, more things, little extra space on the barn, cleaning things out every week. Yeah. Right. One project at a time.
Yeah. Now, some people live in areas where they can only do it in their backyard because people in certain areas where you live, and you have these communities, they won't let you do all the way around. Absolutely. You'll have to do it just in the backyard. But what was the catalyst for you when you, instead of just doing the back, what made you just do the whole thing? You just want to just farm it all?
Yeah. Yeah. Curtis Stone, the urban farmer, he's out in Vancouver area. Right. He's been teaching a lot. He created a market garden template that's been adopted by a lot of small gardeners and small urban farmers, just because it's intensive growing within whatever space you have. And look, you have a neighbor's yard they'll lease for you, or they'll trade vegetables for you, and they don't want to maintain. Some people don't want to maintain a lawn. They don't they really don't want to be outside and all that. So it's like so then he's created leases and templates and a whole bunch of guidance on how to do that. So there's a movement happening here, in terms of going back to the land or growing your own and growing your own food in general. Right. I had a lot of IT folks, and so with this, I've always gone back to IT and consulting as well. This is a homesteading lifestyle and the gardening lifestyle. You have winter. Right. And established farms, when you get a big loan, like a $1 million loan or whatever, then you have your whole run up. Right. But here in a homestead, you're really just investing back on your property and on yourself and what you can produce.
And what you can manage.
And what you can manage. Right. So we started really simply. We basically harvested on Friday and brought it to the farmer's market on Saturday. Because I'm working and I'm doing we're doing other things. But within 3 months, we were there at the farmer's market.
So from the time you started and were able to sell produce was about 3 months?
Probably less, to tell you the truth. We had radishes, and we set up an 8-foot table with microgreens. Okay. And with microgreens, which grow in 15 days. Right. And we also set up another, and the table basically had radishes and arugula and whatever of greens we could pick. Right. And that was 2 months, Mama. That was basically 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. Because and so how we did it, and it's on our Facebook if you go back to 2017.
And you got a great website too. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm trying to put it all up on our website and on our Facebook and kind of have a canvas and just sharing. Because as far as the learning and the templates people ask about is here's your resource. That guy's much better than me. Yeah. They've all written it. There's there's a third of us that just have this spirit right now of growing and of learning and trying to figure out how to create systems around our food that are better, around our health that are better, our eating habits, our living habits, right? I'd say even more than a third. But
what percentage of people you think don't really understand what a lot of the food they eat goes through the process before they get to eat it versus just coming out of the ground? What percentage would you say?
I'd say 20% of I'd put it a different way. I'd say 20% understand it. Okay. Understand their food and where it's coming from and how they're getting it, right? And then there's like a 40% that just ignore it, but they still try. They're trying. But it's not easy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're doing the best they can. They do buy organic whenever they can and things like that, right? Like, and they buy local whenever they can. They feel good when they buy local.
Right.
And then there's and then there's a 40% that don't really care.
They just no matter what, they're not going to do it.
They're not going to really care. A lot of the old, I see it within like, and it's not that they don't care. It's just that they're used to buying things this way.
They want it ready.
Yeah,
They want it ready.
And there's two sides of it. There's even the side that comes to the farmers market that are used to conventional that don't mind that if there was if when they go to farmers market they want to see it packed, even if it's distributors, they don't mind, because that's the old ways of how it used to be.
That's why you pack a lot of your stuff up too. It's great packaging, but it's very presentable. It's very delicious looking and stuff, and very appetizing. Yeah. But you package up some of your stuff too to make it easy.
That's right. That's right. I package it, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of there's a lot of farmers market that don't that have had distributors. Deliver instead of the farmer themselves. The farmers sell to the folks that will then represent them at the farmers market.
I got you. Yeah.
And sometimes that can muddle the quality of the farmers market at this day. But back 20 years ago, that wasn't a problem.
Right.
And that's what everybody's used to everybody comes to the Dallas Farmers Market. A lot of the older folks that know the Dallas Farmers Market say, there used to be trucks here. We used to have tons of produce. And that's true in the 70s and 80s especially, and especially back in the old days when everybody came down with their produce because everybody was growing. Right. Like, and there's Victory Gardens coming up. There's a Victory Garden in Dallas, by the way. And when we think about Victory Gardens from the 50s and from the war times, right, we had 40% of our produce being grown locally and in our backyard.
I didn't know that. Are you serious? I didn't know.
Because we had trees, and if you go around some areas, you'll see
they knock them down to build houses.
Right. You see pecan orchards around the neighborhood. This used to be a pecan orchard. Like it used to just be like the whole area. Yeah.
So I always say to myself, why in the hell do they tear the houses, buildings down, go around them, leave the trees up? But they don't want to do that. They want the money. They want the money. Yeah,
it's just the efficiency. Yeah. It's just hey, we're moving on. We'll worry. Whoever wants to worry about that can worry about that. That's not my worry. Yeah. Right. This is kind of the way business goes.
It took you 3 months. It took you 3 months to start your. How long is that the whole process, or did it take you longer to turn the garden over? You said you turned the garden over in 3 months.
Well, yes, but I did it in 2 zones, right? So like I took a sod cutter. Okay, and I've done it 3 times, and a little bit more actually now because we're helping out other homesteaders. Okay, so I did it to 1 acre, right? So that's my home.
Take me through the process real quick. Take me through the process of what you do. So somebody has a backyard. They have their.
I'll give you mine. I'll give you my example. Okay, so my side, I already had trees around and some landscaping. I had some big trees, and then what I did is I rented a sod cutter. Okay. Okay, so the thing that cuts the grass at 3-inch deep, right? And you run that like a vacuum around the area that you're gonna. You're gonna remove, right? That you're gonna now make into your garden, and you do that because now you're taking at least 3 inches of that lawn that's just weeds, and just the topsoil might be that much, on that lawn. Literally, your grass is barely
1/4 inch.
Yeah, your grass is barely alive.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like, and you're trying to feed just grass. It's just the lowest root kind of plant, lowest water retainer. It's like the lowest of everything is what you're trying to do with grass. The lowest denominator. Yeah, and. And so what you have is this very small topsoil, but you have a ton of grass, weeds, and usually it's weeds. Most people don't maintain such a great lawn, and it's going to convert over to grass. But if you did maintain a lawn, you could just sod cut it out. It'd be even easier to come up.
When you sod cut it, it takes up the grass and everything underneath, so it won't keep coming through, right?
Right. Okay. Right. And you also can roll it. You can now move it. So then you got it. So then you have this whole area that's sodded, and you need to remove it. Okay. Right? So we basically would put it into piles. Okay. Around the area, so we basically make mounds that would eventually become garden beds. Okay. You want to always go with like a flow and a path of least resistance. Okay. So all of this is over here. I'm not going to bring it over to the front or load. You can load up a trailer and get it out of there if you want. Yeah. And if you're a small property, you can do that. Right. But you can also just mound it up against your house with once you retain it a bit. Sure. Right. You can mound it up and then put another wall around it, and there's your lawn. I mean, sorry, there's a raised bed that you can have kale and another tier, or garden plant, or flowers or whatever you like. And we've done that, and on smaller properties, that's what we've done as well. Like it's plausible. and so then you remove the lawn, you mound it up. That grass is now all in one area. Most of it is underground and going to be stifled. Okay. Right. So you just have to keep hitting the top, killing it off, leveling it, and then it's just dirt. Right. After 2 years, you've killed off all the grass that's there.
Right.
And then in your bed area where you're going to actually plant, you have to go through and take out the roots that are left.
Okay.
The ribosome that have dug through a little
Okay.
bit deeper. And you go through and just layers. Once a bed is dug through, once a bed is picked through, then you can just put compost and
Right.
plant right there.
Yeah.
You can plant radish,
Right there.
carrots,
That doesn't
beets.
sound like a hard process.
It's just a little elbow grease.
Time and elbow grease.
Just elbow grease, you know. And then you have a bed, and radish are like, no matter what, you're gonna have weeds. You're always gonna deal with weeds. Probably
Yeah.
20% of
My dad had a
management.
big garden. He killed weeds all the time.
Yeah. 20% of management on a farm, especially in the summer and into the late summer,
Right.
is weed management.
Yeah,
and there's ways to do it actually. And I think that there's going to be some automations coming out in the next 10 years that are even going to be even better, because there's little weed killers and things like that coming out that are like just dusters that can go through, and you can just do it yourself. There's weeding techniques that
Easy.
are easy. It's like sweeping. You just go around sweeping.
Yeah.
And it's weeded because you have to just kill the babies.
Yeah.
You just have to suppress the weeds from growing bigger than your
Sure.
vegetables.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. So when you seed it, and you can, and many people burn them. So before they plant, they'll wait 1 week, let all the weeds come back up, burn them all up. They're all gone now, and then you seed, and then your plants have like a 2-week advantage on the weeds, and then you weed them in between and things like that as they come up.
So if somebody was starting their own garden in their home, what would you suggest somebody start with? They're going to do just from your just for themselves or their family. Lettuce, beets, carrot. What would you start with? What would you do?
I would start with what you like to eat.
Yeah.
I would start with whatever you like to eat that you're then going to enjoy gardening, and it's
Yeah.
going to make you happy, and you're going to be able to feed your family.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, you're going to have kale, and nobody's really going to put it together.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to make a salad out of it or cook it. So you really
Yeah.
want to start with whatever you enjoy the most.
Cool.
Okay. And if you don't have any space, look at what you're already landscaping and have mulched, because that's a 4 foot by 3 foot area that you could easily just throw some kale down for the winter and have kale all winter long.
Yeah, I
But,
think a lot of problem with gardens is, and I watched my dad do this for years and my granddad. I think a lot of people's problems is they think about it, they want to do it, but they think it's not going to work, or it's not going to grow, or it's not going to produce for them.
Yeah,
right?
That might happen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that might happen the first few times. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that happens to every gardener, to everybody starting a business.
Yeah.
Everybody trying to learn how to do something on the website or trying to make a video is like, oh, that video kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But hey, that one was a little bit better. Or, hey, I learned this. And that's how we grow about it.
That's right. That's exactly right. How you grow about it.
Right.
So okay. So you did that. So and you harvested that. Yeah. So how much time does it take for like if a family of 4 was going to grow a garden? How much time do you think they'd spend working on it during the week once they got it planted?
So when you have a few layers of it, right?
Right.
So one is it like, what are you trying to just feed yourself and you just have a small area that's a garden? Right. Maybe like if you just have like a 16 foot by 8 foot section of a corner as a garden,
which is a good garden to start.
That's a good garden size.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you can grow a lot. You can
cram a lot of stuff in that, right?
And you can. You're not going to feed yourself you're not going to have your whole diet. But in terms of the seasons, and if you're smart, you can do a lot with that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're growing up the fence with bitter melon or peas or beans. Just use all the vertical space you have. Create
so
more
you can
vertical
grow
space.
up.
Right.
Okay.
And around the edges. So when we made our beds, we'd keep our greens and our vegetables in the middle, right?
Okay.
Our greens are in the middle, and then on the peripheral, we would do okra, and we would do tomatoes, and even after that, outside of the beds,
right?
Because not everything is going to be a garden bed. So some things we just compost, some things we just mulch.
Okay.
Whole areas we just bring in a truck.
I'm not a gardener, so explain to me why you put the okra and tomatoes on the outside.
One is so that you can water the inside consistently, otherwise it would be blocked, or you'd have to create more zones.
Okay.
Right, and then the other is because it's a wind barrier. And
okay, here we go.
And also it's a barrier, period. So a fence that has things kind of trellised across it, they're gonna be a lot better at just protecting the pollen that's coming through, or the seedlings that are coming through, or a pest that's coming through from another garden that isn't controlled.
Okay.
So even between our gardens, within the acre, we have like, and my favorite is berry, and they didn't take too well. Blackberries. I must have planted 50, 50
I love
different stalks.
blackberries.
Yeah.
Oh, they're delicious.
For some reason, mine just didn't stick and I think it's because when I put them, the soil wasn't good enough.
Okay.
Like that, so it didn't work out.
So would you call a blackberry temperamental, something temperamental to grow?
It depends on the stalk. It depends on the stalk at that time. When I first started, and this is something I don't recommend, don't go online and just buy up a whole bunch of seeds that you see at a supplier online. It's just tempting, but at the same time, go to a nursery and just pick out a whole bunch of different plants that you see from the stalk.
Yeah, because
itself.
this packages, pictures make it look tempting, don't they?
Yeah, and it's
marketing,
and the price is so good.
Yeah,
the price is like $2 a root
from
stock.
A website. Yeah. Oh yeah.
They'll clearance it out and things like that, but. It happens, and when you're starting off, the first few years, another recommendation is really check out Craigslist, be on be on your social marketplaces for free things like bricks, like cardboard and tarps, and somebody just giving away his barn. Just hey, I just have junk that he's cleaning out. That's all the time on Craigslist. In Dallas, we have a really I've always been since we moved here to Dallas, we've just been so thankful and blessed. Everybody's just so friendly. Everybody's giving.
Yeah.
There's good and bad in everybody, but it's like, man, they're just so friendly and hospitable.
Yeah.
And there's a lot on Craigslist. Just everything is available in terms of even sharing with neighbors, and you see it on the side of the road, some good stuff. And when you're starting off, you got to look at the bottom line.
Right.
And so how do you stretch your effort?
Be smart.
Right. Now I'm not doing that as much because my focus is on the operation.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
an
you're
actual
big
business.
now.
Well,
you're big.
I'm trying.
Yeah, whatever.
I've been trying for 5 years.
I'm going to show these pictures. You're big.
We're just putting it's an easy stand up as long as you've got the effort.
Sure.
That's the
It's
beauty.
like anything, right? If anything's worth the effort, if you put effort into it, you're going to make it.
That's right. And it's not complicated. I'm growing greens and I'm bringing it to the farmer's market. Every week I add a little bit more, to the website.
Because you're not
table.
satisfied. You want to keep going and want to get better.
There's always something. Actually, I do it because it makes it easier.
Yeah.
Like if I don't do it, then it still needs to get done. And it's like, and I'll give you an example. Like, if I don't buy the bigger processor for the pesto, then then I don't save 2 hours,
right?
in the week,
right?
Or in the month, and that's the program management side of me of just always improving, just continuous improvement.
Well, when I first met you, your enthusiasm was just so overwhelming. I was, and the stuff I was tasting that you did, I guess the things you've mixed or created, some of the stuff you created, was just blew my mind. So I'm we're gonna play a video right now. You talked about buying local. So I'm going to play a local video. We're going to bring in a bunch of Braga Farm stuff, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about some of the stuff they do, and we're going to show pictures on the screen as well from your farm and with your mom and everybody out there working. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Watch this video. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Trey Chapman, publisher of Trey's Chowdown and host of Trey's Chowdown Live, a weekly TV show and radio podcast highlighting chefs, restaurants, and deliciousness. The restaurant and service industry is in big trouble due to COVID-19, and they could really use your help. While restaurants and service operations may look normal, they are far from normal. So many restaurants, food trucks, burger spots, barbecue joints, bars, and taverns are literally going broke by the hour and might get worse. So I'm asking everyone to help out the simplest way they can, and that is to please buy and shop local. Whether you're dining in, taking out, or get delivery, you are helping out your local businesses tremendously. Mom and pop owners, chefs, restaurants, and all of our service folks will be so very thankful that you're helping in this difficult time. Oh, and be generous on the gratuity when possible. Thank you so much, and thanks for supporting local. Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Again, we're right back, and we were getting the food. So some of the stuff that y'all produce over there that you create, because you do create. You're not only a farmer; you now create things, which I think is fantastic. That's, I mean, and I know you do it every day, but to me, somebody from the outside coming in, I just thought it was fantastic.
Thank you. This is
all right.
It's my mama's touch.
Yeah,
it's her touch in it. And it's the family touch. My wife is usually the one to finesse it and to think it through with me, and then my mom basically just takes it the distance and keeps delivering every week. She's really, if you guys want to thank anybody, that's her. You can find her on Instagram, Braga Jill. She's a
Braga Jill.
Yeah,
I loved her pictures.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to go through some photos. Ron, can we start that photo, please? We're going to go through some photos here, and I want you to discuss. It'll take just a couple minutes, or a minute or so on each photo. Okay, so those are peppers you grow, right?
That's right. Those are banana peppers.
Banana peppers.
Yeah, coming in. They're a little bit small. They're a little bit small at the time, but they're a little bit small. But they'll get bigger. They'll get bigger as the season goes.
So
in.
it's banana peppers, and that's your mom. Now, what's that above your mom's head?
Those are grapes.
Grapes. Okay. And so you're using on this photo right here, you're using the bottom, the top, and the sides of that garden.
That's right.
You've used the whole garden.
That's right. And then where the poles are, usually we'll have like a pepper or a tomato.
Okay.
Well, that's how we started, where we had every row with a pole had a pepper or tomato. But and that's because we grow some like medium or basil or some herbs or something. That way it's a little bit smaller. It creates an ecosystem even.
Sure.
Because on the edges, we're right to the right of my mom, to our left, right?
Yeah.
So we'd have okra, we have flowers, we have things like that, and then in those middles we'd have tomatoes and peppers, basil, like that.
Right.
And then you'd have the smaller greens towards the middle. And that would be, you'd find that kind of view in our summer pictures back in like early August.
So you have really maximized your space is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You maximize the hell out of your space.
We just keep planting. We keep planting, right? And then, you know what I mean? And Fridays we harvest and bring it to the market. Okay. That's the goal, right? Like,
Look at this, right? Look at this picture right here. This is just phenomenal here.
Thank you. And this is my mom's side. So my house is the one behind it.
Okay.
Okay. With the fence, and you can see us growing up the fence.
Right. You see how you grow up. Okay.
Yep. And then my mom's is, and then fortunately in 2018, our neighbor passed away, and we were fortunate enough to be able to pull a little money together from the family and just come on in on it. And his son lives next door.
Okay, that's neat.
So his son didn't want contractors coming through and the house becoming whole rowdy and things like that. And then we negotiated. Some were neighborly and all. It's all good. It all made sense. And so then we were able to move in on.
And this is the other side. Is this your side of the house?
This is my side at the front. Okay. The front of the fence.
Okay. And then this is
paths. This is one of the paths that we created. This is a picture from the other side.
Okay, so let's hold this picture for a second here, Ron. This picture, you created that path, right? You laid those stuff down there.
That's right, and those were donated by St. Michael's Church in Highland Park. That's one of our. It's our second farmers market. We're at the downtown Dallas and St. Michael's in Highland Park. And they just had those for years and years, and these are the kind of opportunities that we have here in Dallas all the time. And I can show you the backyard of my side. There's slates that are covered as a path, but it's a roofing slates.
Okay.
But it was just in pallets and pallets and available.
Right.
If somebody's able to communicate that properly to gardeners, and to folks that need it, people can use it. Just to
the main thing is they're reusing a product,
right?
Which is nice.
Well, yeah, it's reusing the product, but also just like here it is for free, for yourself, and it's better than nothing.
Right.
Like you'd love to have stones like that. But I didn't get stones like that until like 8 years.
They'd be expensive if you went bought them, I guarantee you.
Right, like 7 years at the house. Finally, they came along. And just be thankful for what you got along the way.
Yeah,
and it keeps
Most Americans aren't. That's the problem we got right now. Okay, let's go to the next one, Ron. And what is this?
Yes. So this right here is a friend's place. They're a Houston Heritage Farm.
Okay, have you helped him? Have y'all worked together?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They were doing the same thing. They were homesteading their backyard.
Awesome.
With and their home with bread, chickens, eggs, things like that. And they as you can see, it's 1/4 of an acre. And then their front yard, they wanted to move in next. And they ultimately want to have a homestead. They're looking for a 20 acre out in the country a little bit.
Yeah.
A country homestead. But here, Doug was super motivated to just get going and feed his family and things like that as well. And he came over, was helping me out. His wife learned from us a little bit. And then basically
they've learned pretty well, haven't they?
Yeah, and then we rented a machine. We went to Sunbelt Rental, got a sod cutter, and just tore up his whole grass, threw it up against the house. If we go back to my house, you'll see logs around the whole place. That's the grass behind it, and we just kept killing it. But there you have a bed. Yeah, right. That's a bed of. That's the front lawn. We basically threw it behind those.
Oh,
logs.
I see the logs right there. Okay, I got you. Okay, that's neat. That's neat.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go. Let's just go forward here a little bit.
That's my mom harvesting.
Yeah, okay. Now that's habanero and serrano. You grow those,
yes, sir.
And all your produce looks so wonderful.
Thank you.
Now a lot of big farms and farmers that farm at mass farms. Their produce they have a huge percentage that's not any good.
Yeah.
Is yours like that or no? Yours is not like
Absolutely, ours is like that.
Is it okay? So
yes, we bring and that's the case with all farms. And what we have to understand, right? We bring what's best to the market because that's what people want to eat. And they want to eat with their eyes.
You're right. That's what happens. With anything, restaurants, anything. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then anything, secondary, you cook. You make pesto, you make chips, you have to find other things to do with it. And the things that come home from the weekend, even for a restaurant, like, okay, well, what do we do to preserve this? Oh, make croutons.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like for the start of the week, right?
Sure.
Like that's how we keep the food going and stretching both the dollar, the labor, the time.
Yeah, everything.
It's all important.
Yeah.
It's all important. If you discount a little bit of it, you're kind of gimping yourself a little bit on that end.
Yeah, not only that, it's your hard work that made. Now look, this is all out of your garden, correct?
That's right.
Look at that. Look at that.
That was last week's. This week. This was 3 weeks ago.
This is Tabasco. How do you Tabasco? Sorrel. How many peppers do you grow?
We around like 5.
Do you make any hot sauces?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We do sell to some hot sauce folks.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Radishes. Your radishes are really beautiful when we're there. Look at that.
Thank you. We ferment the hot sauce, the peppers.
Okay,
we always just ferment.
You ferment them. Okay, and what is this?
This is a mixed salad bed. So there's a tatsoi and kale in there.
Now you say mixed bed. Now I want to hold this picture. This is important. So you say, do you pull this and you sell it mixed?
Yes.
So it gets mixed.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll mix it with more things. So here we might have put, and here's where it comes back to that. Hey, I tried growing, but it didn't grow that well. This was a mixed salad bed.
Okay.
Okay. And then when we spread it, only tatsoi and kale germinated from that seed.
Okay.
Even though there was 6 seeds in that.
Everything
batch.
else killed off.
Everything else, something happened to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What it is, but my mom might know, but it's something conditionally happened throughout that week, 2 weeks. But for us, for me, I'm worried about the production, and we just stay positive, just stay in the zone of the business.
If something doesn't work, you got to kick it off.
And that's the case with gardening and anything.
Yeah.
So that's been my message at the farmers market. It's like it's not. Everybody keeps complaining about their green thumb and they've got a black thumb. It's like, no, you're just not enough elbow grease. That's what it is.
You just got trial and error, baby. Trial and error.
That's right.
Okay. Next. Now, what is this? This is some kind of
this is a conveyor belt.
Yeah,
right
conveyor.
Here. And this one didn't turn out that great. So my goal is to make things as easy as possible for us. My wife has been picking greens, and collect.
That's got to be hard.
Yeah, we've been picking. So you collect everything, then you got to pick it out, right? So there's 3 hours, 4 hours of Friday.
Okay. First of all, I want to tell you, you're very lucky because there's a lot of people who. A lot of wives think I'll go out and pick anything, and vice versa for men too.
Yes,
I'm not picking. I'm picking on everybody.
Yes.
Kids won't go pick it, and men won't go. The husband won't pick it. Maybe only one person in the family wants to do it. So it takes for what you're doing. It takes a whole family to recognize how important this is.
Yeah, and we also have to be like we're always agitated with each other, but we also need to be forgiving with each other.
That's human life.
I mean, like
That's circumstances.
We end up getting frustrated because we're working together quite a bit or doing this and being forced to do that.
But that's humanity. That's what happens.
And that's where character comes in and just us stepping up and just trying to keep the ball moving.
You can't be with somebody 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and not have arguments and disagreements and issues. Absolutely. The main is how you handle it and how it ends up.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And so I always try to stay calm. That's what I try to do, but it doesn't always work. It doesn't always.
You know what though? Because it's passion too gets
That's
around.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
All right. Who is that guy right there?
And so this is Stephen Wiley. He is like 1 out of 6 Google machine learning certified engineers in the country.
He's looking kind of serious there.
He's helping.
What you said? Google what? Google
machine learning like certified.
Okay,
guy.
So he's a very intelligent guy.
He is super high end in terms of Google ML.
That's awesome.
And I have a lot of friends in the tech space because when I left Microsoft in 2017, I also. I just went to tech I did tech readies and different hackathons and different events that were just coming out for tech back in 2018, and I got into VR and AR and machine and I'm just in IT. I know the basics of systems and I enjoy the solutions they provide.
No, but what's cool is that the people that you work with, y'all are all on an intelligent level when it comes to online, it comes to building things, the whole tech industry.
Yes.
So it's cool that your friends enjoy you do, but also in your mind you think differently. I mean, everybody thinks differently depending on what you do, right? How you grow and
absolutely.
And so you're perfectly made for this home farming, home if you want to do home beer or whatever.
It's homesteading.
Yeah.
It's homesteading. We all have exemptions of homesteads on our first property. Okay, within the country, you have a cottage law that you can make up to $52,000 from selling any food products you want, as long as
$52,000 from that home.
From that home.
Okay.
That's your cottage law.
Okay.
Limit for vegetables.
Hang on, how does that work? What does that do for you? Do you pay less taxes? Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, your eyes sure lit up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you come from like a W-2 and a professional and things like that. I've told everybody, and throughout this pandemic, many people have said it, right? If you haven't built a business or created an LLC or found out how to be a sole proprietor of whatever it is that you're spending on, you know what I mean? If it's not spending, then all that spending should be towards your business, towards piloting your business for the first year, for the second year. And if you're looking at the home and as like, hey, I love food, then there's a lot of things you can expense from all of the purchases that you need in order to get there.
Sure.
Even if it's a fence in order to secure it.
Right.
And that's your home raising in value, but also being secured for the project ahead.
Sure.
I'm going to be, and if you have a barn or a garage, you can make an aquaponics. You can grow aquaponically and hydroponically with just water or fish in water.
Yeah.
And you can do a lot in a small space. And we're seeing people come out with mushroom farms in small spaces. Yeah. Microgreen farms in small spaces. It's.
I saw that deal. Houston said they had one of the biggest micro farms in the country. It's crazy to me. Hey, Ron, can we? Okay, here you are. So people can get your stuff at the Dallas Farmers Market.
That's right.
And the Highland Park. You said Highland Park. No, where?
St. Michael's Farmers Market.
St. Michael's Farmers Market.
Are those 12
weekends?
That's on Saturday and Sunday. St. Michael's is not open until April.
Okay.
So
all right.
Wait for us there.
This is your deal at the Farmers Market, which is really, you just have stuff out, which we're going to talk about all the stuff, other stuff you do. And then there's your little rig you use. That's kind of neat. Yeah.
That's right. I've been if we're not,
Is that car electric?
No,
I'm surprised it's not electric with you.
That would be awesome. I wish.
Okay, great. All right, so I want to talk about. Let's talk about the things that you do produce. So, you gave me some lettuce that my Janet and I both loved. Was it a lemon lettuce or something?
Yes.
What was it?
Sorrel. It's called sorrel.
Sorrel.
It's a European green. It grows wild, and actually the Germans and Czechs, as they came through the States, they would kind of seed pastures with it.
Right.
Even you can find it in some areas throughout the South. Folks will commonly call it sour grass.
Sure.
And I don't think it's the same thing. It might be even a variant. It might have crossbred with something else. I don't know.
Why was it so lemony? Why was it so lemony and delicious?
It's the same. It's.
The lemon was very pronounced, so it made it like I had sprinkled lemon on it.
Yeah. So number one, you've never tasted a green like that. That's just green. It's just lemony, right? Yeah. So then it kind of is pronounced. But then also our soil is really good. And what we try to do
I was getting at. I was trying to get you to tell me that.
Yeah, we really try to focus in on the soil. Yeah. And we've gone through it, so again, that first layer that we told you just put compost, you just start planting. As plants grow, some of them you can't bring. Some of the beds are kind of trashed. For example, there might be too much nitrogen in a soil that you're trying to grow radish or carrots. Right. If you just have too much nitrogen, it's only going to grow the leaf. Okay. It's only going to grow the greens part of it. Right. You learn this as you go along, right? Okay. Like nitrogen.
Education.
Yeah, like nitrogen just feeds leafies.
Sure.
Right. So then if you have too much of it, it won't bulb because all the leaf is getting the green. Okay. Right. Like getting the food. Right. Not enough phosphate or potash. Sure. And when you go into that first bed, then when you're planting again, you're layering another compost layer, and then or the bed you sometimes let it grow, and we call that cover cropping. Okay. And you can cover crop with radish, with kale, anything to suppress weeds. Cover crop. Right. And if you want to eat it,
keep the weeds away.
Right, keep the weeds away. Some of it you'll collect. Some of it might not go great, but seed is kind of cheap. Yeah. Seed is relatively cheap. Heirloom, you don't have to go organic. Most folks, we accept that heirloom is from the people. Like everybody's trading with each other. There's, and so some folks go pure organic on seed, but even like some old timers and farmers that are like, and I know some from there's a Hebrew community that they're like pure organic. They were like, all right, so they educated me on that as well. And so everybody has their opinions, but this is what we do. Heirloom, we don't use any chemical pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers. We'll come in with worms. So every season we bring in like 3,000 worms. Like
Good worms.
Earthworms.
Earthworms.
Just earthworms.
And they eat all the bad stuff.
And what they do is they basically go through and eat the compost that is not ready yet for the plant. So it's decomposing still. It still needs like 5 months or 1 year to be ready for the plant. That worm eats it up and manures just black gold.
So manure's black gold.
It's called black gold.
Where do the worms go? They die?
No. They keep eating. They keep colonizing.
Okay.
So we spread them out so we'll put like 300 on one bed inside one bed, 300 on another, 300 on another, and they've been moving towards the mulch and eating up the mulch, and you'll find them when you pull up the mulch. There's like worms in there.
So what keeps them from eating your produce?
Who?
The worms. They're
earthworms.
Okay, so they won't eat it. So that's why I don't know.
They're lower. They're soil worms.
Okay, soil worms.
The earthworms that you throw out for the caterpillars are from butterflies.
Okay.
And, mostly butterflies, moths. These are the worms that are army worms that just destroy everything.
Yeah, I'm in ranching, so when we talk about worms, it's a bad deal.
Yeah,
it's a bad deal.
Yeah,
so that's why good.
Yeah. And just to add one point, and then with the pests, so we do worms and we do myrocosi, which is mushrooms.
Okay.
So we basically inoculate the soil and the roots of the plants with a little mushroom film. It's a mushroom spore. And everything needs mushrooms and probiotics and good bacterias.
Okay.
Right. Good bacterias support life.
Sure.
Is what it is.
As well as good health.
Yes. And so that's going back. So the myrocosi and the mushrooms do the same thing for the soil.
Okay.
And the salads they give them they attach to the roots and they attach to the mineral. So they extend the root. They extend the root contact and it becomes like a living organism in the soil.
Okay.
And that just feeds everything better. So even though you have a little nutrients, if you're doing that every season, like spring and late summer, and basically you keep that ground inoculated, and we don't till. We don't till up the soil and just throw their whole home into a mess. We will only till up the top, or we'll only just scrape off the ground and then plant and then compost it on top again, and plant on top. So then your topsoil ends up being 6 inches, 12 inches. My neighbor
keeps getting better and better.
Just keeps getting better because you're letting it live, and you're just you're just making sure you're
just managing the girth. That's what you're doing.
If you go through and you till the soil in the middle of summer, right? Then all of a sudden, everything that's been living there is now exposed to 110-degree heat.
Bam!
In the middle of summer, they're dead.
Yeah,
everything that's dead soil.
Yeah,
that's gonna and then that won't support the greens to be eaten, to be grown through the summer, which we are able to do. With that kind of system.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the things you do make. First of all, I want to show this kale right here. This kale, look at this. This stuff is so beautiful. When you first gave me this, I was just picking it up and eating it, just like this.
Thank you. Yeah.
Look at her.
Thank you. Yeah.
So my question is,
this is kale with olive oil, Parmesan, a little cayenne, and pink Himalayan salt.
That's why I like it. Mm-hmm. And you sell it like this, right?
Yes, sir. 1 for $6, 2 for $10.
Yeah.
At the farmer's market.
You can just pop it and you can eat it. It's dry. You dry it out, correct?
Correct. We dehydrate it.
Dehydrate?
A dehydrator. And knock what we want on China, and just the manufacturing. Being a homesteader and having access to a dehydrator that's $70 and is like, hey, here's a way to get started, or a blender that's $50 from Walmart, and here's a way to get started. It's just like, it just made it so much easier to actually transition or facilitate what you do from growing to making, and creating from your dish, because we all have processes, we all have blenders. Like imagine 40 years ago trying to create a restaurant or food from your home, like your home's garden, or you know what I mean? It's almost impossible to kind of think of. And I've just been blessed with that, with both the technology side that's helped me out, but also just the manufacturing being available. And God knows if we would have been able to do it better, American made, we might have been cheaper. But but we don't know. But I'm thankful for that.
So let's talk about this right now. We got this up on it. This is some of your pesto, correct?
Yeah.
Now y'all make the pesto there. It's been in here for, I don't know, 20 minutes, and the smell, the aroma, and this whole studio is just totally changed when they walk that pesto in here.
Thank you.
It is just,
thank you.
It is unbelievable. I can't wait
to
try it. So you make pesto. So what else? What are these other things that you have?
And these are so I have arugula pesto and I have a mixed salad pesto.
Okay. What's the difference in them?
You'll also find basil pesto, cilantro pesto,
right.
Kale pesto we've done a little bit. Whatever we have of abundance, and and it's gonna whatever we have abundance, that's what we'll make pesto out of. When basil comes in, August especially, in the beginning, we're only, whatever we bring to the market, we sell as greens. In terms of basil, we can't even keep it on the table. So, but once it becomes too much and we have just beds and beds of it ready, then we'll make some pesto out of it, and it becomes just delicious. But even then, our mixed salad is a favorite over the basil.
Really?
Our regulars don't pick up the basil when basil's in season. They still continue with the mixed salad. So,
This stuff right here is delicious, man.
Thank you.
This is savory, man. The texture is amazing. Golly. So I'm on.
you ever seen the hot ones? You ever seen hot ones on YouTube? Check it out sometime. It's a hot show. It's a hot sauce show. And
so
have a little dab.
This just smells so good. So can you tell me, I know I got your mouth full now. Can you tell me what's all in your pesto? How do you make that pesto? Just real simple, real quick.
So we blend up our salads with garlic, pumpkin seeds, olive oil, Parmesan cheese, pink salt, and lemon. And then everything we do and it's similar ingredients with the chips, right? Garlic, pumpkin seeds, olive oil, Parmesan cheese, pink salt, and lemon. The only thing there that we have is cayenne. That's different here.
Right.
It's just that's the blend, and what tastes really good though is the greens, right?
Yeah.
So the greens are just really fresh. That was yesterday's greens.
Yeah,
we just pulled
such a big difference.
and we blended
It's
it.
just produce is produce. That's why so many chefs and restaurateurs have gone to every day getting fresh produce. Some of them don't. I know some restaurants don't even have freezers in their stores anymore. They just have coolers. They get everything they need for that day or the next couple of days or that weekend, and it puts such a better spin on product, better flavor. Better appearance, just better textures, everything. It's just makes for a perfect combination for those chefs to make those delicious dishes.
Yes, we have many restaurant chefs come through on the farmers market, and they usually pick up on Wednesdays on the wholesale. Just so you know, there's a wholesale market on Wednesday. If anybody's ever interested, come out a little later, and you'll find packs of of the farm stuff. Yeah. And so, in terms of the vegetables, we've also turned them into these ferments as well.
Right.
These right here are a little bit they're a little bit funkier. They're a little bit different, and they're not as controlled as pesto and things like that. But instead of pickling with vinegar, what you can do is you can use salt. It's called lacto-fermentation.
Right.
Okay, and this is the way we used to preserve things in the past. We used to have wars over salt in order to preserve food for the winter for the citizen and folks. So we basically just found the right level of salt to add to these to water. It's pink Himalayan salt, and then what happens is it gets all fermented. Is there any?
Okay.
Let's flip that hot chili over. Let's see. We've already shaken it up, but that juice is layered up with probiotics from the natural sugar of that crop.
Cool.
And what that does is the sugar now is a probiotic, is a bacteria that when it lands in your gut, it basically adds to the biome. It adds to the ecosystem there, similar to how myrocozae and the mushrooms add to the soil.
Sure.
Right. So this is a fermentation that's happening here, and you see people getting more involved in just their health and the ferments and the kombuchas and all that stuff. There's even kefir, which is from a cactus, and it's just you need to diversify your diet in the right way. Put the right things in your stomach in order to live right. If you put too much sugar, if you put too much alcohol, if you put too much anything, too much meat, you'll have an issue. So. That's where we need to fast a little bit. That's where we need to look at other things that might help. And with these, if I don't know if you like to try, but the jalapenos are the favorite, and the chilies are the hottest.
I will. We're almost out of time. I'm gonna try them after we get through. I'm gonna try them. I am so happy you came in today. I'm so passionate. Your passion, made me passionate about this. I think it's fantastic. Hope we can, continue this. Your interview with me, live interview, will be out when we get through producing. It will be out. We'll be able to share that. We're going to share this. People want to go to your website. It's Braga Farms.
BragaFarmsDFW.com.
BragaFarmsDFW.com.
And you can find me on at Braga Farms DFW across all the other socials.
What is there one you hit more than another one? Social media, or do you hit them all?
Instagram, I'm mostly on. I'm about to. My cousin is begging me to get on. that other one. It just escapes me. TikTok. The
TikTok. Oh, yeah.
Because the views are
I'm
just
on-
so high.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So
Well, no,
I want to check that out.
It's great. Well, Jefferson, I really appreciate you being here. I want to thank your mom again, too, for all the stuff she does for you. And, of course, your whole family.
Thank
I think
you.
it's awesome.
Thank you.
If y'all want to find anything else out about, it's Braga Farms, DFW. And then you can go to our website, treyschowdown.com. Again, I know it's the holidays. Your family's probably in town. You want to eat something else besides turkey or Christmas cookies or gatherings. You can go to our restaurant directory, our barbecue directory, and our blog, and it gives you all different kinds of restaurants that we've approved, that we've been to, we visited, and that we know is a fresh product and it's good. And you can use that and enjoy some deliciousness and enjoy a creative chef here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Buy local, hit up the Dallas Farmers Market, or what's the other one? Highland Park.
St. Michael's.
In April?
St. Michael's Farmers Market in April.
St. Michael's Farmers Market. Check out his website. See y'all next week, same time, same, I want to say, vegetable channel here. See y'all next week. Love y'all. Thank you.